it comes to the topic of being an outsider or the other, it is noted that this identity-related concept has been in the foreground of the work written by Oz, Koffer, Kasseri, and Nafisi, who were all outstanding women writers. Specifically speaking, the silent dancing. If you are what you eat, then what am I? The reading Lolita in Iran and respectively the representative work of these three writers. Through from different cultural backgrounds, these three literary figures successfully present their distinct knowledge of like belonging with regard to ethnicity and gender. And such feeling is evidenced by their literary choice of good food, dance, and literature admittedly. There was once beset with identity crisis and suffering a lot both emotionally and physically, but finally they all come to terms with it through relentless search and struggle. I have to say, it is their striking course and tenacity that equips them for the success of finding true identity. Being an observer and participant in her past exploration of selfhood, Koffer describes her bitter experience of isolation and alienation in a whole new community, and she is stalked by divided loyalties whether to her home Puerto Rican culture or to the American one. Silent dancing is regarded as Koffer's recollection of her childhood in New Jersey and Puerto Rico. In this essay, it can be seen that Koffer portrays the Puerto Rico and as a paradise, embarrassing both physical and emotional warmth. Well, she said that my memories of life in Puerto Rico during those few years are in shades of gray. Maybe I was too young to absorb vivid colors and details, but a single color washes over the whole period. Her remembrance of life in Puerto Rico is a combination of physical coldness and a lack of vibrant colors, as was in Puerto Rico. In contrast, her living experience in Puerto Rico is characterized by loneliness and sense of being the other, and this was not just the fault of an alien environment. Instead, her family structure and the external surrounding worked together to contribute to her isolated position. As her puppy cautions against any emotional attachment to the American neighborhood, and her mommy refused to learn English and incorporate herself into the community. The imprisoned and solitary life in the small apartment in America forms a striking contrast to the social rich and warm life at Puerto Rico. Koffer describes her monotonous life in New Jersey as our solitary life in New Jersey, where we spend our days inside a small dark apartment in New Jersey, where we spend our days inside a small apartment watching television and waiting for our father to come home on leave from the Navy. Dark hair assume a solitary feeling at the Americans and the father's absence in daytime. Moreover, the man-denying act of watching television is the exact opposite of social and interesting storytelling in her home country, Puerto Rico. From such detailed description of her daily life, I could sense that the other's loneliness and feeling of being an outsider in the American community. Luckily, the other finally gets to resolve such alienation and strike a balance between American culture and the Puerto Rican culture, establishing a bicultural identity. As for reading Lolita in Tahara, Nafisi also described herself as Maoric in the mainstream society and in the literacy community. On the one hand, she barely attacked laws on women's wedding and on their meeting with men outside their family. Inventable, her anti-social fighting against the wedding at 2 universities led to her expulsion from both schools, and she was excluded by many people. Nafisi, on the other hand, is not afraid of being isolated. She organized some of the students to read important work of literature, not only for the purpose of literature analysis, but see the social function and these great literary works. Among them, the most notable one is The Great Gatsby by Scott. Instead of simple condemn the moral decadence of the characters like other readers, Nafisi focused on the dream in the work. Despite the fact of being essentially American, she tries to find the correlation between Gatsby's dream and distraction and those of the real public. You don't read Gatsby, I said, to learn whether adultery is good or bad, but to learn about how complicated issues such as adultery and fidelity and marriage are. A great novel heightens your sense and sensitive to the complexity of life and of individuals, and prevents you from the self-righteousness that see morality in fixed formulas about good and evil. From the quote, we can see that the author separates the reality and fiction, and she also points out fiction provides people with an escape from the reality and helps them learn about the complexities and emotion and social issues. Fiction, in her opinion, is not representation of life or reality. Unlike Coverstance and Nafisi's literature, Kosari used food to express her confusion about her identity, or even her relationship with her parents. Being an Indian girl in an American school, he felt estranged and somewhat an outsider, so she tries every means to become an American. First, she tries the American foods, tuna. She wrote in her famous essay, "If you are what you eat, then what am I?" that although she has never been able to tolerate the smell of fish, my mother buys the tuna, hoping to satisfy my longing for American food. She asked for American food like tuna so as to establish a connection with her peers in schools, from whom she is different, but the smell and the taste of the tuna are physically repugnant to them, so she has only to throw it away. In addition, in order to be more like an American and truly belong to this place, she marries a foreign man. He smells different from me, foreign, strange, and marry him anyway. It is quite surprising that she could manage to adapt so hard to American food, or rather the American culture, through marrying a man, eating vastly different from her, while none of the effort makes her truly belong to America. But she finally realized that she is unable to become truly American. And then I realized I don't want to be a person who regards the taste I've forgotten, the meals I have inhaled without a thought. Kohiri began to become what her religion and her ethnicity defines in India. She looks for the recipes and makes notes on how to make Indian food, and this time she learns to become who she is, not what other people want her to be. Kaufer, Nafisi, and Kausari all experienced the stage of being an outsider in their respective surroundings. They once got isolated and solitary and have a hard time, but luckily they could manage to surmount such emotional obstacles their own and move on. The same is also true to ourselves, since each one of us may face the adversity on our life journey, such as the loss of identity or being different from the mainstream culture. Instead of get down in the issue, we should summon up the courage and face up to the problem. Then try to strike a balance in our life without going to extreme side of the matter. In that case, we will become a better self on our own.